So, folks, we're getting back into this case, of course, of Stephan Sterns. And this week, his attorneys have deluged the judge with all kinds of motions relative to trying to keep certain things out of the courtroom and certain things not allowing certain people, the press and the public, in the courtroom. But so far, the judge has ruled in the favor of the prosecution on all these motions. So I'm going to play this from a local news story in regards to this case.
This afternoon, Stephan Sterns is trying to get out of facing the death penalty, and his attorneys want the public to be kept out of the courtroom for case hearings until the trial.
You'll recall Sterns charged with the murder, and that's of the 13-year-old daughter of his girlfriend, Maddie Soto. And Channel 9's Nick Pampantona sorted through court records all day and found some interesting details. Nick, what is his attorney trying to get done here?
You know, the judge has a ton of rulings dumped on him over the last week. An attorney told me it could be that Stefan Stern's team wanted to just submit them all at once, but it's probably more than that.
Yeah, they're really throwing a lot out there.
The number of filings impressing even the people who do it for a living. Attorneys for Stefan Sterns dropping more than 50 requests on the judge's desk since last Thursday, including requests to get rid of the death penalty, prevent the jury from seeing certain evidence, even disallowing the use of the word murder to describe the crime scene.
Using the word murder at trial implies criminal intent. Homicide is intent neutral, so it's just safer. It just means that somebody died.
Attorney Thomas Fider said many of the 345 pages included routine asks, things he himself would request. Some of them less common, like a request to shut the public out of all future court proceedings until the trial begins to avoid tainting the jury.
To close us off from, what is a public forum would be difficult for the judge to do, but he can do it if the defense is able to demonstrate compelling circumstances.
But looking at the sheer number of motions, Fider said it went beyond defense attorneys doing an A-plus job in trying to prevent Sterns from claiming ineffective counsel on appeal. He thought it could be a deliberate strategy, just as leadership at the prosecutor's office was turning over.
It could be that she knows that this office is understaffed at the moment. They've had a lot of turnover, so they're using this as a tactic to try to overwhelm the office into giving them a better plea deal.
The public defender in this case, Beth Borden, has 25 years of experience and a team of 4 or 5 working under her. Fider called her one of the best in the Ninth Circuit.
So, it seems a little... when defense attorneys do this, it is definitely tactical. It's tactical. And let's not pretend that a trial, in this case, a trial for SA, which he's also eligible for life in prison if found guilty in this case. And after this case is tried for the SA, Stephan Sterns is facing another case in September 22nd for murder in regards to Madeline Soto. So this is just the beginning to his plight. A plight, of course, brought on by himself. But we are all familiar with this case, and when we hear all the details, it just really is. It's a sickening case. Madeline's body was found days after she was reported missing. It was found on March 1st, 2024, off Old Hickory Tree Road in rural Osceola County. Madeline was found dead in the area where Sterns was last seen, possibly changing a flat tire, wearing clothing similar to what he was last seen in. Prior to her murder, Madeline had just turned 13 years old. 13 years old. So Sterns is, as I said earlier on, he's got a really uphill climb in regards to this case. And there's not too many people who have been following this case that are at all sympathetic to Stephan Sterns. Don't forget, he has never tried to help the police. Even when the police were searching for Madeline's body, Stephan Sterns denied any knowledge whatsoever. Nothing. No knowledge at all of what happened to Madeline. No knowledge at all of anything in connection with this case. And it always brings me back to when he was being interrogated. And he just sat there with his arms folded across his chest, and lied, and just showed what a real despicable human being he was, if you could call him a human being. I'm going to pull up a little bit of this interview, which we all saw numerous times.
So you're saying when she had her backpack, presumably her school computer was in her backpack, and you described her wearing a green jacket, some kind of dark colored shorts, and white Crocs. Okay. Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash. So, Stefan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching. Okay, you understand?
You know, I've done a couple of shows on this very interview, and I was highly critical of these detectives for the fact that I thought that this was their chance. And if you didn't watch the episode that I talked about this was their chance to get really hard with this guy. This was their only chance, because he was going to lawyer up. There was no doubt in my mind. Well, he did lawyer up with even the softer approach. But I had spoken about, in watching this interview, that these detectives should have confronted him with the evidence much sooner than they did, and not allowed him to talk till they had finished and told him exactly what they had, exactly all the things they knew about Madeline's death, about all the evidence they knew, about the fact that they knew Madeline was never dropped off at school, because Stephan Sterns was still staying with that, I dropped her off at school, total bullshit. And they knew it was bullshit, but they never confronted him with that. Instead, I felt they were too soft on him. And maybe my way wouldn't have worked either, but at least they should have tried it. They should have tried going hardcore on him, and they didn't.
Family's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you, because this is all that we need to find. And it's, as more time goes by, it's tough. I have kids, he's got kids. And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where. And I really, really, really think you can help us. I mean, you want to get something off your chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm pleading with you.
I don't know. I don't.
What happened?
I dropped her off.
Where?
I dropped her off on the road to school. That was the last I saw her.
Sometime throughout the night on Sunday, did you guys have any interaction, conversations?
What, like fight?
No, I'm not saying fight. Just, did you guys sit up and talk, or?
We talked while I was making ramen. She was excited about her choir performance coming up. She was singing a little bit. I told her it was pretty. It reminded me of Sister Act. That's why I wanted to show her that movie. Just talk about a crush she had on a boy.
How'd that make you feel?